Good morning, good morning. As you can see, it's still dark. This is Dom, this is 99 Media, and I'm back with you for another video. And this video is going to be interesting. I never actually used the Tesla Model 3 for work before, and we have to go down to Georgia. Like I've told you guys before, I'm a systems engineer, work for a dealership group, and what kind of needs to happen is I got to bring a server from North Carolina to Georgia. So that way we can make sure that it is up and running and people are able to log into their computers. So yeah, today's video, we're just going to take a trip down there. It's about 221 miles down to Buford, and let's go ahead and get to it. So here we are in the app, A Better Route Planner, and I'm navigating from work to down there in Buford. And we are stopping at the Fairplay Supercharger. I'm starting with about 92%. Looks like I'm going to get there with about 20-something%, and I'm just going to charge up to about 80 or so. Just keep on going to my destination because the Buford Supercharger is too far. And I'm just scrolling through here, kind of trying to see what else is there, just in case traffic isn't going our way, or for some reason I need to stop a little bit early at a Supercharger. So that's pretty much what it's looking like. And then the other destinations or the other routes, if I wanted to take another one. And as you can see, the Supercharger next to Buford. And yeah, that's pretty much the app and pretty much what we're going to do. So 4 hours and 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so like I said, going to install a server down in Buford, Georgia. At this point, you guys should have seen a Better Route Planner. I use that every time that I'm going somewhere, even though the car can navigate itself. I always use a Better Route Planner to kind of pick out where I want to go. And for this trip, we're going to Fairplay to charge first. I was charged at 100%, but I had to come into the office to grab a few things. So now what we're going to do is navigate to the Fairplay Supercharger. So in that way, we can always precondition on the way there so that the car can accept, a higher charge. So that is 133 miles away. At 92%, I have 242 miles of range, which it does not. That is under perfect conditions, of course. And we are looking at 11 stalls down there at Fairplay. And looks like, and Tesla has, and this is another reason why I want to do this trip, because the new update shows a lot more information about superchargers. And as you saw, that it was saying that we have 11 stalls. It's going to charge me 39 cents per kilowatt hour, which it has gone up. That's fine. 11 stalls available, 12 stalls in total, 250 kilowatt max. That's the reason why I want to go to this one. That's why I put a little extra juice in the car this morning, so that way I can make it to a fast charger, a V3 charger, or V2. Yeah, one of those V's, one of those versions, the most up-to-date version. And also on the way here, I got a chance to try out the new energy consumption screen. It still has the old screen where you get to see that, but now they have it shows you what took up the range that you were using and whatnot. So in that way, you don't have to ask, well, why didn't I do this? And then it also comes up with suggestions and range tips here. All right, so 5 minutes into this trip, and we're already hit with traffic. This part of Charlotte's always bad in the morning. Totally forgot about that. And yeah, this should be interesting. The only other part that I'm worried about is it's called Gastonia, for those who aren't familiar with the Charlotte area. And 85 is really weird because that's the highway that I'm taking. 85 is really weird because in Charlotte, granted, it's labeled north and south, but technically it flows from east to west, west to east. So it's interesting. 77 is more north-south in Charlotte. So slight setback on trying to get out of here, but we're continuing on. It says we're going to get there with 27%. And looking at the charge meter now, not the trip meter now, looks like I've consumed 4 miles, which is probably about exactly what I have consumed. Yeah, I'm learning this as well because this is pretty new. I believe the minus 1.2 miles, that is subtracted from the total. So yeah, that's I think that's anytime you see negative miles or negative anything in here, that is going to be a positive because it's subtracting from what was actually used. All right, I just hit 74. I was trying to start at 75, but little bit under 75%. I actually just had my first instance of phantom braking, which was kind of weird. I didn't come to a complete stop. It dropped like maybe 10 miles an hour. Super creepy, but it was when like the light was hitting the road, and I guess, you know, Tesla probably thought something was odd or off there, which was really, really weird, but it is what it is. Currently we're 105 miles out from the Fairplay Supercharger, and as you can see, we will get there with 32%, where a better route planner was saying, or better route planner, however you want to say it, was saying that we'll get there with 28. Still room to change, so we'll see. Looking at the energy consumption here, when we started at about 93%, we used about 17.6% consumed, and based on this graph, we are beating the projection and kind of coming really close to it, so we'll beat it by maybe just a little bit here. Driving, 16% of it was driving, 2.2% was on climate, like 0.5% has been on elevation, and everything else is 0.8%. I like how they included everything else. It's kind of funny, but yeah, that's where we're at. I'll give you an update when we hit 60, maybe 55%, something like that, unless anything else notable happens. All right, I wanted to wait until 50%, but I'm hitting some traffic here in Greer, South Carolina. So I figured I'd do it at 54%, you know, since I'm going to be in traffic anyway. And it looks like we are now, the last update, I was going to get there with like 30% or 31%. And so now I'm down to 27% getting to the Fairplay Supercharger, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, there was plenty of swing that could have happened in that, which it apparently did. So, yeah, there was a lot of 55 zones that I was kind of going upper 60s. Won't necessarily tell all the details on that, but and it's not like I was like super speeding either. I was going with the flow of traffic. So here we are, Greer, South Carolina. Hold on, I'm going under a bridge. Looking at the energy consumed since the last update, I think it was like 17% was the last one. I've consumed about 38.2%, not since last, but the difference of that. So it's like 21% since the last update. Looking at the driving, so out of all this, I've used 36.3. I'm at a plus 0.6%. The climate, I'm actually running it with nothing on because it's actually pretty comfortable during this time of the year in the North Carolina, South Carolina area. Elevation 0.4%. Everything else is 1.2%. We are still a little bit above the graph here, which is definitely an awesome thing. Still, the only range tips that it's given me is staying below 70 miles an hour would have saved you 1.8% this trip. So, well, yeah, probably. But kind of also just got to get there too. One of the things that I do as a Tesla owner and just as a car owner, I always check my air pressure just in case if it's punctured. I can kind of know at what point it was punctured. So in that way, you know, I don't know. There's nothing really I can do because I totally left my air compressor at the house, or my, yeah, the thing to pump the air in tires. I have one of those portable that I usually keep in the car, and I do not at the moment. So yeah, stupid me. But you know, definitely praying that everything is fine and we do not come up with any surprises. I pray over my vehicle every time that I get in the car. Real quick interjection, we are preconditioning. We have been actually for like the last ever since it's about maybe 34 miles. So we've been preconditioning for about 6 miles or so. And yeah, this is the only noteworthy thing. See you at the Supercharger. Good. All right, so a better route planner says I should stay here till about 80-something%, but that's not gonna happen. I'm probably gonna stay here till I don't know. Right now we're pulling in 784 miles an hour at 185 kilowatts. It was at like 2-something, so it did peak and now it's kind of coming back down to normalizing. It says because technically I have like 70-something miles to go. So I'll probably double that when I get to like 140 or so. We'll see what it is, but we will see. And apparently Tesla has just told me this is my third stop here, which is interesting. But I really need to go use the bathroom, so I'll be back. Give me a second. All right, charging done. We got to 62% relatively quickly. I was able to go use the bathroom, come back, get on a work phone call for about 10 minutes, and I'm already back to 62%, and this is about 164. I take 30% of that and subtract about, what, 30, 60, I don't know. 16 times 3 is 8. 140, so about 48 miles. Subtract that, and that's probably realistic. I'm only 71 miles from my destination, so yeah, we're just gonna get back on the road. See you guys when we get there. All right, so here we are in the Tesla app. I realized while I was making the video that I forgot to let you know what the stats were when we got to Buford. And the reason why is for that, I had to work. So yeah, but Tesla app is the app that I'm using here, and I'm going to show you guys what it looked like, what my efficiency was. Like I said, at the time, it was like 70 something miles away from the Supercharger, the Fairplay Supercharger. So I wasn't far at all. And looking at that, I am seeing my distance overall driving at 90% efficiency, an hour and 3 minutes to get there, 71.3 miles for the distance traveled. And I used about 80 miles worth of range, or 30% of the battery. And for an average efficiency of 3.45 miles per kilowatt hour, you can see the starting odometer, the ending odometer, the tire pressure at the same time, the battery in kilowatt hours, and how much it cost me in energy. And this is kind of just based on my energy consumption price for home, which is about 12 kilowatt hours. 12 cents per kilowatt hour, sorry. And shows me the range. I started with 164, ended at 84. Average speed was about 67 miles an hour. And then also the climate change here, 348 feet overall change. It shows you climb and descended. Temperature. This is pretty cool. This gives you a lot of data. So, but yeah, this was pretty eventful. Pretty good trip down. And I'm also going to show you guys what it looked like for my expense report. So before we get into the expense report, I really felt it apropos to really show you guys the superchargers and the how much it cost me per supercharger. So on the way down to the Fairplay supercharger, I was charged 37 cents per kilowatt hour, and I took about 24 kilowatt hours, and that came up to, with taxes, $9.36. Buford Supercharger, they charged by the minute, so it was like 41 cents a minute. I stayed there for 15 minutes, and that was $6.15 with no tax. And then at Fairplay again on my return trip, which I didn't really show you guys because I didn't want to bore you. That was 37 cents per kilowatt hour, and this time I took 40. It was more than enough to get me home, and with taxes, 6% tax, that gave me about $15.60. And so in the next scene, we'll see the expense report from my company software to kind of show you guys how much this was. So the total for the superchargers cost me $31.11. And looking at the map here for the mileage calculator, it was about 437.5 miles, which, as you can see below, they counted as 438. And at 47 cents a mile, I made, they're going to pay me $205.86. And then minus the $31.11 that it took me to get down there and back, I made essentially $174.75. And for perspective, how much I made per mile, or how much it cost me per mile to drive down there, you take the amount of the supercharging cost, which was $31.11, and you subtract that by the miles, so 437.5, and it cost me about 7 cents per mile to drive down there. And yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of it. And yeah, it looks like I made $174.75 going down there and back. Nice. So here we are, just finishing editing this video, and I just wanted to put an outro to it, and just wanted to let you guys know, please like, subscribe, and comment, and definitely please interact in the comments with me. I love to interact with you guys, and if you have any more questions about the trip, please let me know. I would be happy to answer any and all questions that I get. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this trip. As you can see, you're able to use your Tesla for work, definitely for long commutes. I will say the supercharging costs have gone up rather considerably, almost 100%, based on what they used to be probably a year and a half ago or so. And but it's still proven essentially feasible. But just know, most of your savings is going to come from your driving in and around town, not necessarily from supercharging itself. Gone are the days of free supercharging miles, so that's not really a thing anymore. For anybody that still has free supercharging miles, hey, kudos to you. You're doing, definitely ration those out. But for me, as a person who got their Tesla well after the referral program died out, there's no, it's no free trips anymore. So hey, thanks guys for watching. This has been a good video. If you have any other topics that you want me to discuss, please put it in the comment section below, and thanks a lot.